The off season talking to some of the most interesting football folks around. And for this one, we're going away, far away. Let's go live to Australia, where we are joined by the director of Prokick Australia, Nathan Chapman. Coach, I really appreciate your time.
Greg, I'd love to be on, mate. So we're about to head out to a session. So you got me in the car, but looking forward to having a chat.
Yeah, absolutely. For folks who are maybe unfamiliar with Prokick Australia, they've put a number. You guys have put a number of outstanding punters and kickers into college football here in America, and then also into the NFL. You're a guy who's been with this from its very infancy. Can you take us through a little bit about what this place is and how exactly you guys are so successful in producing some of the world's best punters?
Yeah, thanks, Greg. Yeah, I guess the idea spawned in about 2007 or 8, and then just sort of being around the sport itself, and thought, hey, look, you know what? I've tried it myself. There's plenty of guys who can kick a football. Let's teach them. Let's see let's see if we can help them get to college, and let's see if we can help get a few into the NFL. I knew there was a fair bit of talent here, so it was just about showing them or guiding them. Initially into making sure they put their best foot forward when they get to college, and don't get it wrong, so they got a better chance to succeed. So here in Australia, we've got plenty of guys who can kick a football. We invite them down, come and have an assessment, and if we feel like they've got that talent level and they're eligible to go to college, we put them through a 12-month plus sort of training program, and sort of get them out the other side and present them to colleges, such as Texas. Well, I mean, all the way across the country, but it takes a fair bit of time, but we put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah, that's one thing I think is so striking, that you guys have put so many guys out there. I think that the Australian punter has become such a known commodity now in the United States. And I'm interested, you mentioned you started this back in 2007. You're yourself a footballer to begin with as an athlete. Did you anticipate having this kind of success eventually, or is this even beyond your expectation?
Well, it's really funny. When I wrote the business plan out, I'd literally said, we expect to send 50 guys a year to college. And now, unbeknownst to me, that was hugely unrealistic from a starting point. But we're sort of nearly getting there. And so we're, 15 years later, and we're sort of getting those numbers around the 30s, 32. So it's sort of, weirdly panning out, except I didn't think it was going to take 15 years, because the first year I think we sent 3 across, and then there was 2 across, and then 3 across. So it took a little shot to the ego, but we stuck at it, and then finally made some inroads and made some more connections, and here we are.
You guys have produced some of the very best punters, some Ray Guy Award winners. I think people around here probably know Michael Dixon, of course, the punter, the Ray Guy Award winner at Texas. You guys, have produced a number of outstanding ones. Lack Edwards, who went to Sam Houston State, et cetera. A number of fantastic punters and kickers. I'm interested in why you think Australian kickers are so successful. I mean, it may be strange to say, but is there just something different about Australians that makes them so naturally good punters?
Well, I would suggest if you brought over 50 American high school quarterbacks and they threw the ball against our guys who thought they could throw a ball, there'd be a clear difference. Again, we've got a sport over here that uses our legs and our feet, and we kick a ball and it transitions really well into punting. So we build on that, I guess, that infrastructure of the style and the methods that we've already got. We've put it into a format which makes it now, it's more like a hybrid of the old school punting. The rollout kicks come into the game a lot more, which is what we do on a daily basis here in Australia, in Aussie rules football. So we've just joined, merged the two together and got a really good hybrid. And there's some inherent game skills, some awareness, some instinct stuff that's, I guess it helps our players be a little bit calm behind the line of scrimmage. And if something happens, that's okay. We do deal with that on a daily basis in our game over here. So, we'd like to think it gives the coaches a fair bit of confidence to know that, okay, nothing phases them. They'll make mistakes. But, that's pretty part and parcel of, being a punter.
Yeah, I think that anybody who's watched footy a little bit can understand that there can be no panic if you're going to be successful in either sport in footy, and so that seems like that would translate well into punting. One you guys are signed 15 punters to the highest level FBS here, and one of the guys that I know folks probably are interested in hearing about it is Isaac Pearson. Isaac Pearson signed with the Texas Longhorns in this most recent class. I know you've got a ton of students, and I know you probably think highly of all of them. But with Isaac Pearson, can you give Longhorn fans a little bit of insight into what they're getting for their next punter?
Well, he came to us, and the day he walked through the door was like, dude, you look like you're from Texas. And so his initial like meeting with us was like, hey, I love the Longhorns. I'd love to play them. We're like, well, you look like you're a Cowboy, and it would suit you, but you can't go because it's not going to be within your time frame. And then things just happened to work out. He had to do some classes. He had his job that he had to finish up, and the timing just worked out that when they needed to bring him in, that it worked with his timeline. So great lad, really humble, strong, and boots the ball and works really hard. So you're certainly going to get someone who's going to put all of their effort into being a good character, having a good work ethic, and then expecting a fair bit from his I guess consistency out on the field. So you got a pretty talented guy there who can kick it from A to B pretty well.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about the past year, which has obviously been challenging for everybody involved with the pandemic. You guys have now a reputation of putting out outstanding, prospects, but they haven't been able to see their college campuses. There hasn't been a ton of traveling to America lately. How has that changed the way that you guys have gone about, getting your guys noticed and getting you guys into the next level?
Well, we have to deal with that. We've dealt with that since day one. We're on the other side of the world. So going for a visit or meeting a coach has been, it's always difficult. And some coaches accept that and can make a judgment call on film and information we provide. And some coaches are like, I ain't touching anybody that I can't see live. And so what COVID has done is actually taught them to look outside the box because they've had to. They haven't been able to do any visits anywhere. And really it's worked into them understanding that they've still got to make a judgment call if the kid's in Florida or Illinois. Wouldn't matter. They've got to look at film and make an evaluation and make a call. So in some sort of ways, it's helped us talk to some more coaches because they've had less to do and they're not on the road recruiting and you can't get a hold of them. So we've sort of just, I say adapted to that, but we've done what we would normally do. We've tried to do it a little bit better every year, and this year's, although it's been interesting in what we can do from a training point of view and small groups, and we had times where we couldn't travel more than 3 miles from our house, and so it made some challenges, but here we are. We still put 15 or 16 across in the middle of the pandemic to college. Some of them played, some of them didn't. Some of them are playing now. So quite the year. But we're back to full training now, and we're pushing ahead pretty strong with a pretty big group coming through. We've probably trained, I think we've got 65 trainers at the moment, and really looking to bust down some more doors because there's some quite talented guys coming through.
And I know you've got to get to training. I won't keep you too much longer, but I do want to ask about the culture change because another thing about this is I know you guys are fans of the NFL over there. You watch that, but college football is a very kind of uniquely American phenomenon. The idea of playing football for your university. Um, I'm interested in how much training goes into understanding exactly what college football is, and understanding not only the sport, but also kind of all the strangeness that I think from the outside, it's a soup that we swim in, but from the outside, there must be so many different things that you have to learn in order to understand American college football.
Yeah, well, in the 12 or 14 months of our training program, we try and mimic everything that college can provide. We can't mimic the crowds, and we can't mimic 6'7", 350-pound linemen. But the film, the guys that have gone across previously, connecting with new guys in the program, giving them information. We give them a chance to talk to all of the guys who've gone over there. What's it like? What did you need to take when you first set up your dorm? How much money am I going to spend? What's it like in a big, doing your first road trip? What's it like? So we've got access to all of the information, and we consistently grind that into the players over the course of the 12 months. Johnny Smith and I, who, we work together, and I guess all of our coaches across the country work at giving the players a lot of examples about what happens. We watch a lot of film, and we role play. We yell, we scream, we tell them off, just like college coaches are going to tell them off. We make them do push-ups, log rolls, you name it. We do anything we hear that's getting done over there, we do it here. So they're learning it, but there's nothing like being in there yourself and then going, right, that's what he meant. I get it. Thanks. It all makes sense now. So I have this little analogy that I watch, the shows about ice road truckers and, below zero and living in the Antarctic and how cold it is. And they say it's -20 and -30. And I go, oh, that's got to be cold. I've been outside when it's cold, but I haven't been outside when it's -20. And although I can imagine what it's like, I can't imagine what it's like. And so it's the same thing. I watch the shows, but it's not until I stood foot out inside it that you get a real punch in the teeth and go, yeah, okay, I get it now. This is what they're talking about.
Well, Coach, I got to tell you, if you're ever looking for a place to stay here in the United States, Texas is probably, as far as avoiding that kind of cold, we're brethren there. You can rest assured that we won't give you that kind of stuff.
I know we get the international weather forecast. You guys have been your snow's just melted. What the heck's going on there?
Look, we can't explain it. We won't try to explain it. It was, but we all got a dusting of snow, and suddenly we were all paralyzed. It was, yeah, it was a little bizarre. He's Nathan Chapman. He is the director of Prokick Australia. Coach, really appreciate your time. Congratulations again on all your success, and go get to training.
What's up, baby?